Good morning. It's the crypto day morning, and today's date, Friday, 23rd of November, 2018. All bets, trades of the like, within one's own risk, own reward. Although I'm really not going to be making any suggestions, talking about things that I've talked about, looking at the Bitcoin chart, talking about the Wall Street cheat sheet, and then quickly looking at ticker symbol ARN. So we'll start within the weekly time frame of the Bitcoin chart, which has been in a beautiful run. Now, most people do not take a look at a log scale chart, and when I'm going to be referencing the Wall Street cheat sheet, I'm only presuming that the author drew this in what would be a linear scale, hence because most people use the linear scale, which would look something like this if I take it off. Ooh, a little bit differently. And then going back to the original way of looking at it here, nice little gain, decent pullback, but when you take the log scale off, it's a monstrous pullback. All right then. So, throwing that part aside, putting this back onto log scale, as I've been talking about, I'm not going to go over this too quickly. There was this big 6,000 level that it's went below. Price action has fallen to about 4,000. It's in at 42.81 now. And I haven't been talking so long about a price target of 3,000. When we take a look at this on the daily chart, from the first move, a little bit of sideways continuation down, but this thing is just continuing to accelerate to the downside. There has been very little for any type of bear market aggressive rally attempts, which is what you need for that failed breakdown fast move. So obviously not coming into play, looking like the full-fledged move that's going to make its way en route to that of 3,000. And one of my greatest teachers basically says trying to pick tops and bottoms is a fool's game, and maybe I'm a fool, but I'm really going on the mathematical level, and I'm really not even predicting a bottom, but I would be predicting situational things of what would happen if it does manage to go to that level, which at the 3,000, again, it's just making it so we can see that general area in there. What I'm saying is, coming down to 3K, I'll put the line in there in that proximate area, it's going to either have that of a bottom, and when I say bottom, it can go down to like 2,400, then shoot from that area still. The whole point is buying at around 3,012, going down to say 23, and then shooting higher. Well, that's fine. In my book, it would be anyway. So it's going to have a very good rally from there. Maybe even that of a bear market rally, which would be something like coming down to 3,000, rallying up to this previous place where it came from at 6, and then the next target would be 1,000. The one thing I have talked about a lot on this channel, if key levels of support or resistance are not such as expected, expect a fast move to the next level, and this is a huge level. And if 3,000, well, the next level is 1,000. That's all I'm going to say from that point on, for I'll talk more about that possible situation as we arrive to such. Now let's take a look at this Wall Street cheat sheet. Can be found by typing in Wall Street cheat sheet and then looking, and it will come up right on Google Images. I'm going to go through everything on here, pretty much. Psychology of a market cycle. The feelings appearing as the markets fluctuate. So let's take a look at this. We have the market going up, little bit of the toppy action going down, sideways, and up again. So therefore, what do we have here? We have at the start disbelief, which is how it's going to end. This rally will fail like the others, as people have already experienced a down thrust of some sort. They're not going to believe it. There's all of these lower high rallies. But obviously would break some resistance levels, get up towards this area here where it says hope. A recovery is possible, one would be thinking. Thus, the human psychology is having less doubt. Then optimism. This rally is real. Things have changed. Not only have they given less doubt, they've completely reversed it. So instead of being 70% doubtful, they're 70% optimistic kind of thinking. And then belief. Time to fully get invested. They know it's for real. Why were they ever thinking anything bad at all? Thrill. I will buy more on margin. Gotta tell everyone to buy. And then what's not written on here is the major media exposure. If we look back at Bitcoin, as we were getting towards the end of the 2017 year, we were getting a lot of this going on. A lot of people were just actually talking about it. The Big Bang Theory did an episode. It was euphoric, which is what the top part is. I am a genius. We're all going to be rich. And then as it starts to go down, you have a decent leg lower, the lower high rally. We need to cool off for the next rally within the complacency set. And then after this is where the trend lines break, as we can see there. And then a very large sell-off of continuous long decline. So anxiety. Why am I getting margin calls? This dip is taking longer than expected. And of course, when I look at thrill and anxiety, thrill means for them, I will buy more on margin. I will sell more and place buy orders lower is what I do during the thrill cycle. Or if I'm talking about the actual Bitcoin price, oh, this thing I need to buy. Actually, no, I don't need to. I want to buy, or I think I have a good chance I may need it, but if not, I'll probably want it. Or I could at least resell it. I'm going to buy that now. That's the type of thinking that I have. Luxury buying? I can afford to do so more. I'm not going to be doing that in the lower end stages. So that's my feeling. So anxiety, why am I getting margin calls for me? Oh my goodness, the buy orders are starting to come in is what I'd be saying. Denial, the next one. My investments are with great companies. They will come back. And of course you could say with great coins, or my investments in cryptos are great. The crypto system, the blockchain. Then you got panic. Shit, everyone is selling. I need to get out. And capitulation. I'm getting 100% out of the markets. I can't afford to lose any more than this. As it goes down, anger. Who shorted this market? Why did the government allow this to happen? And of course, you're not going to use that as the reason. But whatever, they're just going to pick some sort of reason whatsoever. And they could use that. Then depression. My retirement money is lost. How can we pay for all of this new stuff? I'm an idiot. And don't be surprised if there's going to be a lot of people that will fit this category. A lot of people saying, man, I could have made millions, multi-millions, and oh, that's going to really depress them later. And then disbelief again, this is a sucker's rally, and then we go back and do it all over again. So that's the general thing. So to understand this is, where do you see the level of the people? Did you see any of these denial, panic, capitulation, or anger during the last run? Did it really get to the panic and lower? Were people really getting out? Was there a large or a decent amount of crypto people that got out during the run, falling from below 10,000 to 6? Well, obviously, not really. Now, what will be unfair for me is to say I'm going to be able to give you a good read on how the general public is feeling about it. I am watching less and less videos. about, well, just of general and from people. So therefore, I don't have a good general consensus of how many other people are selling and all that kind of ordeal. And for myself, I don't even know if a good bottom pick is 3,000 or 8,000. And I've been talking about the 3,000 for quite some time. So I will say 3,000 is my answer, obviously, because it's been talked about from me for quite some time. Let's finish this video off with ticker symbol ARN. I find it very interesting for its similar look to this, the technical analysis, and some of the things that I've been saying, because it seems throughout my life of gambling that I have had very unlucky situations, albeit some lucky ones as well, though, with a lot of great analysis coming into play. One example is I have bet on the Toronto Maple Leafs 3 times this season. This is a team that's ranked, I think, number 3rd or 4, 2, 3, or 4 in overall net gains via beating the spread, or how much money they would get on for betting on them. And I'm 0-3 betting on a team that has been dynamite this year. Well, you know what? I bet them last against Carolina. And I've said to myself, watch the Leafs lose, because every single time I make these bets, I just seem to have some interesting luck, is all I say. So that's why I approach mostly to this very safe betting system on the cryptocurrencies. Now, as I move to ARN, and we'll take a look at it. First, we look at the daily chart, and then on the 400-minute time frame. Actually, the daily time frame will be a lot easier to explain what I need to. At least within this run higher. Notice how you have the moves that determine or tell you that could be in line for a decent decline. Not really so much this high in here, for it was still doing very well with the 18 average. And there was nothing to state that this was going to be the top at around the 15,000 Satoshi handle. But when you have these previous last attempts before the fall, this is where I think where I see it here. And then on the Wall Street cheat sheet, it would be in that complacency point in here, and then concluding that decent sized decline. So therefore, when I look at a chart like this, and I'm looking for selling spots, and we'll start it from right around September 17th, 18th. Where were the only selling spots I would consider? Because I like to buy low, sell high, you got a resistance level. So you don't want to sell like around 67, 77. You don't want the small break above resistance. So everything starting at around 7,400 and everything up to this point, to me, decent sell points. And then it broke resistance again, so break decent level again, starting on a nice leg higher above it. So somewhere like around in here, you could be saying another good sell point. Then when all of this was happening in here, and I was talking before, it seems whenever I make these, like, this would be a gamble for me. Sell everything I have of ARN, because the play would have been, and I didn't do it, of course, sell everything somewhere in this 10,000 area, and then buy it back. If you buy back at this line that I drew in at 6,300, you can see how successful that would have been when the low was 5,798. Well, so be it. But this did give very good indication that it was headed for a decent size leg lower, which has already been the case. Now what situation from that point? And now what in my book means a situation of what's supposed to happen has just completed. Where do we go from here? Because we're supposed to have a bounce from here. Supposed to come up at least to the 10.6 area as a conservative level. If we don't, it's going to be a very decent decline. Of course, the next leg lower is previous low at 36. But just something I thought was very interesting in pointing out. But for me, I realize it just seems when I play the game of gambling, the sell in here, I'm going to get the nice little maybe failed breakdown here, and then up she goes, and I go own none of such. So that's risk reward, understanding all different situations in the game, the good, the bad, the ugly, the neutral, all that type of stuff. Very beneficial because that can help weigh risk versus reward management. For me, risk reward management is always job number one. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.